bring you the very latest news that we've got coming into us here at France 24. This is France's ex-president Nicolas Sarkozy has been convicted in the last few moments of criminal conspiracy in his Libya trial. Now, there are other accusations as well against him, and we're still waiting for verdicts on those. But Philip Turle, International Affairs Editor, is joining me here on set. Philip, just bring us up to date then, first of all, with what we know here.
Well, this, of course, all goes back to what is called the Libya connection, which is, or the Libyan affair, as it's being called here in France, which is accusations that Nicolas Sarkozy, who was president from 2007 to 2012, profited from illegal Libyan funds given in cash by the former Libyan dictator Moamer Kadhafi in exchange for him being rehabilitated on the world stage. And this money was handed over to Nicolas Sarkozy and to his associates to pay for their 2007 election campaign. This has been dragging on for several months now. It's the fifth case against the former president, and the most severe, for which he really does run the threat of going to jail. And the court has just found him guilty of criminal conspiracy. That's to say that they say that he was guilty of active corruption and also of organising a group way of getting this money into France for his election campaign. Now, of course, Nicolas Sarkozy has said that he's not guilty. He did not know what was going on. All of this was arranged behind his back. But this is obviously not the verdict and the belief of the court or of the jury that has handed down this verdict so far today.
Yeah, we're just hearing, in fact, as well as you were talking there, Philip, he's actually been found not guilty of other charges relating to that trial. He was accused as well of concealing the embezzlement of public funds, passive corruption and illegal campaign financing. So effectively there were 4 charges against him overall. He's been found guilty of just one of them. I mean, there's been a lot of talk, hasn't there, since this all began about whether we're ever going to see Nicolas Sarkozy, the former president, behind bars. I mean, that might suggest, if he's only been found guilty of one of them, that probably will not be the case.
Well, there are a couple of points here that are interesting to underline. First one is that even if he is found guilty, Nicolas Sarkozy and his lawyers have made it absolutely obvious and evident that they're going to appeal against the verdict. And so that will mean there'll be another trial later on, and that will delay any sentencing of Nicolas Sarkozy, which will then be pushed back to the next trial, depending on what the verdict of that trial is. If Nicolas Sarkozy is found not guilty today, then the investigators can actually appeal against that verdict, and they can also call for a retrial because they believe that Nicolas Sarkozy was guilty maybe on other charges that so far he's not been found guilty of. So we'll see how all that turns out. The second point is that even if he were sentenced to jail, there are several different ways that this could be done. The first one could be a suspended jail sentence. Therefore, he is jailed, but he doesn't actually have to go behind bars. The second one is that he's jailed, but instead of going into jail or prison, he would be given an electronic bracelet to wear around his ankle for a certain amount of time so that his whereabouts could be detected. And the other one is that because he's over 70, there is also a chance that he will not have to go to jail due to his age. So we don't know how that's going to play out, but we should get the answer to that question, I think, pretty soon now.
And there are other people also who were very much part of his entourage who were involved in this as well. And we're starting to get a little bit of detail coming through about what may or may not be happening with some of them as well, Philip.
Well, Brice Hortefeux, who was a former interior minister under Nicolas Sarkozy, has been found guilty of some of the charges and of illegal financing of the campaign. And also he is guilty of criminal conspiracy in corruption with active and passive public money. And another person who is very close to Nicolas Sarkozy is Claude Guéant, who was the former General Secretary of the Presidential Palace, the Élysée. He has been found not guilty of illegal campaign financing, but he is found guilty of being part of a criminal conspiracy and active and passive use of public funds. So all three who are in the dock right now have not got away with this without being found completely not guilty on all charges.
And finally, Philip, just in a minute, if you can, remind our viewers who perhaps are just joining us what this is all about in the first place.
Nicolas Sarkozy wanted to be president of France. He ran this election campaign back in 2007. What the accusation says is that in 2005, he managed to obtain a pledge from Moamer Kadhafi, the Libyan leader, that in exchange for money, from the Libyan leader, France would rehabilitate Moamer Kadhafi on the international stage, which basically meant a state visit to France. You can see the images here behind me, which took place just after Nicolas Sarkozy was elected in 2007, and also a series of lucrative business opportunities for Libyan companies in France and vice versa, French investment in Libya, which was something that Nicolas Sarkozy was very proud of saying that he'd managed to create. There was also the case of another Libyan who was wanted in France for the explosion of a DC-10 airliner over Niger in 1989. His name is Abdallah Senoufi, who is Colonel Gaddafi's brother-in-law, and he was jailed in France for life for his role in the bombing of that plane. Nicolas Sarkozy said that if he were elected president, he would pardon him, and also he would let Abdallah Senoufi use Nicolas Sarkozy's lawyer, Thierry Herzog, in a bid to overturn that ruling. So all of this is like pointing the finger at Nicolas Sarkozy, saying, well, in exchange for the money, this is what you offered the Libyan dictator. What Nicolas Sarkozy is saying is there was no money involved in all of this. What I am the victim of is a plot by the Libyan supporters of Colonel Gaddafi against me because I didn't support him enough in 2011 when Nicolas Sarkozy was still president of France and Moamer Kadhafi was overthrown and killed, and there was not enough support from France after everything that Moamer Kadhafi had done for the French as a result of the election campaign of Nicolas Sarkozy in 2007. So I don't think any of that has washed through to the jury or to the prosecution in this trial, and that's why we've seen this verdict coming through right now. Not guilty on all charges, but certainly guilty as far as being part of a criminal conspiracy is concerned, not only for Nicolas Sarkozy, but also for Claude Guéant and also for Brice Hortefeux, who were two of the closest aides to Nicolas Sarkozy at the time of his election in 2007.
Philip, thanks very much. Philip Turle, International Affairs Editor. Just to repeat the news coming into us here at France 24, former French President Nicolas Sarkozy, who was president here in France from 2007 to 2012, has been found guilty of criminal conspiracy.